Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of 6 for 6. I am your host, Trevor Williams, and we're back. Season 4, Episode 4. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. We have finally made it to the promised land of college football. Week 1 is now underway, and we got some great matchups. We have TCU against North Carolina. So Bill Belichick gets his first crack at college football action, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely going to be a good one. But that did not make our 6 for 6 due to the turnaround time of generating the next episode and all that stuff. That was because that game was Monday and I put out an episode Tuesday or Wednesday. But, getting your games in, getting everything prepared, definitely a key factor in that we keep in mind. However, we got 6 good games to really kick off week 1 of college football. But without further ado, let's show you our current record right now. Last episode, ladies and gentlemen, with our 5 games that we had selected in week 0, we went 2 for 3. Not a great start to our college football selection, ladies and gentlemen, but I think we can turn around in week 1 of the college football season. But that puts our record, ladies and gentlemen, that puts our record, ladies and gentlemen, on for season 4 as 9. Please bear with us. I switched my laptops up, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, our record here is 9-7-1. What we got going on here, very rocky after last week, but hopefully we can turn it around on the up and up. Without further ado, let's get the show on the road. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we have no stats in our selection. A lot of this is going to be driven by the percentage chance of victory. Last season really can't make up too much outside of quarterback play for some schools, but we're going to use a lot of the percentage of winning here until we get the week 1 results in so we can start doing some nice compare analysis and beef up the schedule a little bit. For our first game, ladies and gentlemen, we have Cal versus Oregon State Saturday, Saturday, August 30th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7:30 p.m. Oregon State, Cal was doing okay. But if we look at the percentage chance of victory, ladies and gentlemen, Cal has a 55.7% chance of victory compared to Oregon State's 44.3% chance of victory. I definitely like Cal in this matchup, even though they're on the road. And I know Oregon State makes a great home opener, but I gotta give the edge to Cal in this one. Give me Cal over Oregon State. You can catch this game on Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we got Auburn, Baylor on Friday Night Lights, ladies and gentlemen. August 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Fox. Auburn, a rocky year last year, not looking great. Baylor doing all right in the mix of the Big 12, but they got to turn these programs around. Auburn's coach most likely on the hot seat. They don't have a great season. However, Baylor is a favorite in this one with a 51.8% chance of victory. Auburn's a 48.2% chance of victory. I'm giving the edge to Baylor in this one. Definitely going to be a close game, but I think Baylor's going to close this one out. You can catch Auburn, Baylor Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Fox. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, you got the University of Utah versus UCLA out in Pasadena, in the home of UCLA at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, ladies and gentlemen, 8 p.m. Pacific Time on Fox. Ladies and gentlemen, Utah has been to Pasadena a couple times in the last few years and fallen short to a lot of Big Ten opponents in Ohio State. Now they have a shot to be in the Rose Bowl yet again, but against UCLA to make a statement. Utah is a physical football team, and they will battle UCLA. Sure, UCLA may have that flashy offense looking really good in their uniforms, But, ladies and gentlemen, Utah has that heart where it matters the most and finds a way to win in these close matchups in the Big Ten environment. And they've gone out of the Pac-12 with some chances to win in all of that front, ladies and gentlemen. They got to Pasadena. This is a part 3 in their saga in Pasadena right now, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not for the Rose Bowl. But it's to get them on a right winning track again in their winning ways. So give me Utah over UCLA. Even though Utah is the underdog with a 47.9% chance of victory, UCLA has a 52% chance of victory, but I believe Utah has a chance to pull up an upset in this one. You can catch this at 11 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday or 8 p.m. Pacific time on Fox. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going into some of our ranked matchups for this weekend. We got in the third slot, Notre Dame, who's number 6 in the nation based on the AP poll, versus Miami as a number 10. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. Ladies and gentlemen, Notre Dame falling short in the national championship game at Ohio State. They are seeking a revenge tour to get back to the promised land, to get back into the playoffs, but it all starts when they have to play in Miami. Not an easy task, but they find a way to do it. They got a great coach, and I think Marcus Smart, I want to say, but definitely something that we have to keep a close eye on as they develop in this season. But as time progresses on, it's going to boil down to a very few things that Notre Dame has to do. They got to keep the ball, keep Miami's offense off the field, and shut them down when they need to shut them down. But I like how this is going to go. Marcus Freeman is going to do something great right now for Notre Dame to get them back into another playoff shot, another national championship run. I think he has got the guys to do it. But it all takes week 1, beating Miami. Not an easy task. So I like the Notre Dame in this edge, even though they have a 54.9% chance of victory compared to Miami's 45.1% chance of victory. I just got to give it to Notre Dame after what they went through to get to the college football playoffs and reaching the national title. So you can catch Notre Dame, number 6 in the nation, versus Miami, number 10 in the nation, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. And I have Notre Dame winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in the 2 slot, we got we got LSU, who's number 9 in the nation, versus Clemson, number 4 in the nation, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, let me backtrack to the Notre Dame game real quick. This game is actually on Sunday, August 31st, so make sure you catch that. So going back to LSU number 9 versus Clemson number 4 in the nation on Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC. LSU, Brian Kelly's got to get this LSU team back in the playoff contention, back for an SEC title game. But if he doesn't do it, he's really in the hot seat. Like, he has to make a statement against this game against Clemson. Now, on the other hand, Dabo Swinney has finally reached into the transfer portal to get some players, but they made it to the college football playoffs and got beat by Texas pretty bad. But now they won they're back. They're controlling their own destiny. There's not too many 2 teams to beat them in the ACC. So it's right there, money for the taking. But I think Clemson's going to get the job done. I think LSU is, but I just don't think I'm convinced. I think Clemson walks, and it's going to be a telltale sign on how that shakes out for the rest of the season for LSU. LSU has a 46.2% chance of victory compared to Clemson's 53.8% chance of victory. I just like Clemson in this one. I think they're just going to be more battle tested and more physical against LSU in this matchup. So you can catch LSU, Clemson, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific time on ABC. Let's do a quick recap, and then we'll go into our number 1 game of the week. So in the 6th slot, ladies and gentlemen, we have Cal versus Oregon State, Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, and I have Cal winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Auburn versus Baylor. Friday Night Lights, ladies and gentlemen, in the world of college football. 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Fox, and I have Baylor winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Utah versus UCLA. Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Pacific time on Fox, and I have Utah winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Notre Dame, number 6 in the nation, versus Miami, number 10 in the nation. Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC, and I have Notre Dame winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have LSU, number 9 in the nation, versus Clemson, number 4 in the nation. You can catch this game on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC, and I have Clemson winning it. And now we already know, ladies and gentlemen, the game of the week. Number 1, Texas versus the Ohio State University. Noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time on Fox. It's a high noon showdown in the shoe. You can't get much bigger than this in week 1, ladies and gentlemen. I am disappointed that Fox made this a noon kickoff, as many fans were. This should have been a night game, but I digress. We got a high noon showdown as we do. Ohio State, a redshirt freshman. I will lay the context as it is. As every Ohio State quarterback since my time I've been here in Columbus and went to the university, my rule of thumb is, can my quarterback win big games? And can they win those big games on the road? Luckily for Justin, he has home field advantage as being a freshman. So he has the crowd on his side. Now, the question at hand is, can he rise up to the challenge and make plays matter when it matters the most? And can he keep drives alive in this game and give Ohio State good field position and get points early and often? Texas has Arch Manning. They have an explosive offense. Their defense got some returners coming back. Ohio State has a lot of people that left, but they just reload. So definitely going to be a key, interesting matchup. Definitely going to be defensive focus. And turnovers and penalties will decide this game. Mental mistakes hurt teams early on in this season. And that's when you got to find a way to keep these drives alive when you get that false start or that holding penalty. Find ways to keep the drive going and make sure that opposing team's offense has limited time on the field. And I think Ohio State can squeak this one out. It's going to be extremely close. It's either going to be touchdown separation to win this game, or you need a field goal to win it. And I know during the playoffs, both teams didn't have great kickers. So we'll see what that looks like and how that shakes out. But I think Ohio State pulls this one out. But in a nail-biting fashion, coming down to the wire, I think Ohio State stands tall. And I think number 1 in the nation versus Ohio State, number 3rd in the nation, Saturday, noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time on Fox, and I have Ohio State winning it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a quick recap, and we'll get you on out of here so you can enjoy the week leading up to week 1 of the college ball season. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we got Cal, Oregon State, Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, and I have Cal winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Auburn and Baylor playing each other on Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Fox, and I have Baylor winning it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have Utah, UCLA, Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Pacific time on Fox, and I have Utah winning it. Our third game, ladies and gentlemen, we have Notre Dame, number 6 in the nation, versus Miami, number 10 in the nation. Sunday night football, ladies and gentlemen, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC, and I have Notre Dame winning it. Our number 2 game, ladies and gentlemen, is LSU number 9 versus Clemson, who's number 4 in the nation, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday and 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on ABC, and I have Clemson winning it. And ladies and gentlemen, the game of the week, Ohio State, Texas in Columbus. High noon kickoff. And ladies and gentlemen, I have Ohio State winning this one in a nail biter. 6 for 6. Like I said, last week's episode, we were 2-3. That put our overall record for season 4 thus far as 9, 7, and 1. Hopefully, we get our 6 for 6 here, and we'll be back on our winning ways, and we will roll into the NFL season with mix of some college football. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of 6 for 6, and enjoy week 1 of the college football season. Take care, and see you next time.